Red Bull finally announced Sergio Perez as the driver for the 2021 season, a move that brought smiles to the faces of many as the Mexican got his well-deserved shot in a race-winning car. Also, with that announcement, the 2021 grid finally took shape with all the driver lineups now confirmed by the teams. All but one. In fact, as I scanned through the lineups to find that Mercedes was yet to confirm Lewis Hamilton for the next season, a move that almost always seemed like a formality whenever it was brought up has started to catch the eye of many as the year comes to a close and the contract extension is still not finalized. As the pundits sit down to speculate over why that could be the case, there seems to be a multitude of reasons around why Lewis Hamilton is yet to officially extend his contract with Mercedes. With the economic world taking a severe hit during the pandemic, it's no surprise that Mercedes too has taken a hit financially. Right now, Lewis Hamilton is the highest paid driver on the grid by some distance, and Mercedes has been more than willing to shell out the big bucks to keep the world champion in the team. But with the budget cap right on the horizon and the driver salaries considered to be part of the budget, it would become difficult for Mercedes to spend the big bucks on the driver when those resources could be used to make the car faster. Also, George Russell's one-off attempt at Bahrain in the Mercedes, where he almost won the race, could have shown Mercedes that maybe they don't need to shell out that much money on the driver if that money could be used to make the car faster. Lewis, as arguably the most successful driver in the history of Formula 1, would command a certain price for his services, and the sticking point could ultimately be the number of zeros in Lewis's contract. Lewis Hamilton will be 36 next year, and he has pretty much dominated the sport throughout the past decade. It's hard to fault anyone that considers him the best driver on the grid right now, so there are mainly two questions. How long does he want to do this when he already has all the records in the books, and will he be looking for a short-term contract to keep his options open for the future? I mean, there's already young talent on the rise right now, and he has to be motivated to fight the likes of George Russell, Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc, who are much younger and hungrier at this stage of their career. Mercedes on their part would be looking at a long-term deal with Lewis to keep the best driver on the grid in their cockpit. At the same time, Lewis might not be willing to commit long-term, as after conquering everything at the pinnacle of the sport, it's tough to get yourself psyched about the next challenge that might be presented to you. 2020 could be the beginning of a brand new era in the history of F1. With the focus on stacking the grid closer to each other and the introduction of budget cuts, we could see a change in the approach to racing that we've seen before. The current specification of Formula 1 is arguably heavily dependent on the car underneath the driver. That's why Valtteri Bottas finishes ahead of Max Verstappen in the standings. The plan is to create an ecosystem where the driver could be the distinguishing factor. Also, what it means is that the advantage that Mercedes enjoys on the field in the current set of regulations could extinguish completely, an occurrence that could end the Silver Arrows' dominance over the entire field. Would Hamilton want to stick around for the new regulations? Would he be willing to push it again in a car that might not be as competitive as its predecessors? For sure, a driver of Lewis's caliber loves a challenge, but at the age of 38 and after achieving everything that could be achieved in F1, will Lewis have the motivation to do it all over again? These are the questions for which we just don't have the answer, but they do shed a light on why Lewis and Mercedes have not announced an extension of their contract yet. Toto Wolff recently announced a 3-year extension with Mercedes, and in many ways, this could be the catalyst to Lewis extending his contract as well, but one thing is for sure, there's no smoke without fire, and Lewis taking this long to sign a contract with Mercedes surely raises questions about possible doubts in both the camps about the future. Either way, interesting times ahead for F1 as the best driver on the grid and the best team are yet to come to terms about a future agreement. Anyways, now it's time for meme of the day, and here it is. And that's been it for this video. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure to leave a like and don't forget to subscribe. Apart from that, I hope you're an awesome day, and bye bye.